Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to PACE 2020. We're going to have an awesome run here in just a second, but I want to remind you why we're doing what we're doing this weekend. Every dollar that you donate going straight to the Hackensack Meridian Health COVID Response Fund. Obviously, if not for this global pandemic, we would have all been hanging out in person. Obviously not really possible right now. But we do want to help as best we can. So just $3 pays for an N95 mask for a healthcare worker. $10 pays for an antibody test to help research better treatments and a cure. We really want to get this COVID over with. I feel that too, but it's going to be a tough battle, and any support that you can give would be greatly appreciated. So I'm going to toss it over to Bluekandy, who's going to run an awesome game from my childhood, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Bluekandy, good luck, my man. Take it away.
Thank you, Cola. I appreciate that. Yes, please heed his words. Would really love to see a donation train. And just as a preface, I figure for every hole-in-one that I get during this run, I'll do $5, and I want as many people in chat to match me as possible. I don't know how many I'll get, maybe none, it may be 5, who knows, but
I'll match you as well.
Yeah, and Cola's on board too, thank you. Alright, keep an eye out for that. I'm Bluekandy. I play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour quickly. Yes, I know, a golf speedrun, it's crazy, right? I'm here to show you how it's done. So this is the 80% category of Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, where we play through the regular 6 tournaments, we win all of them, and we unlock the credits. Simple as that. The cherry on top is that we use Waluigi, so it's going to be quite the hype speedrun. Waluigi for most of it. So, just a couple quick questions, because the run starts up pretty quickly once I get into it. I'll cover a few FAQs. We're running in the Japanese version because it's a refined version of the game. It loads the scoreboard faster after every hole, so it'll save about 2.5 minutes. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. I've got some community members who are more than happy to help, and if I see a question, I will also answer it. That's my thing. I love answering questions. So without further ado, let me get into the speedrun. We start from a fresh save from a new memory card file. And time begins on advancing from the title screen, and we get right into it. So I'll do it from 3, 2, 1, go! First course is Lakitu Valley. You like to see it. Lakitu Valley has a cutoff of +6, but there's something else that makes this course really special. And it's the fact that there's no wind on every single hole that we play. So what that means is that I could potentially play some frame-perfect shots and get some holes in one, like I mentioned. So I will be attempting to do that in this 60 frame per second game. Every shot that I make is double frame perfect if executed properly. So it's quite tough, and it's even tougher to talk about it while doing it at the same time. This game does have an English release, yeah, it was the first release, which is uncanny for a game, so it is the unrefined version, as we like to say. So we're going to be speeding through every hole, but we don't play all of them. Now, I mentioned the +6 cutoff. What that means is I only need that score, I only need to tie it or better to win. So, if I tie or better to win, then that means I can give some holes up. Also, we got a hole-in-one, nice.
Very well done.
Hey, $5! Right, chat? I'm looking at you. For charity.
Nice shot.
There's so much to talk about all at once. Right, so the cutoff. The basic structure of the route, as I play, is I'm going to try to get the best score I can, but then I can give up some of the longer holes for a triple par penalty. I'll explain more about that when I get there. And I could still win the tournament, so that's the fastest way to get these through. And really get a competitive 80% time. So, just what's going on when I take a shot. There's so many things happening, like rain. There's no wind on this course, but there is wind. Later on, we'll see it. And you see that funky +10 down in the bottom right corner there. So there are plenty of things that are happening when I take this double frame perfect shot every 5 seconds, basically. I'll start with the RNG elements. There are factors of luck in this game, and 4 main ones exist. So whether or not it's raining on a hole, it's about a 1 in 4th chance. Except for on the desert course, which it'll be quite lower, as we expect from a desert climate. Another one is the wind speed and direction. Those have a cap based on the course that we're on, so it'll steadily increase as we go through the run. The third one is pin location. Every single hole in this game is programmed to have 4 set pin locations. And depending on the tournament that you're in, also this is another hole-in-one, I already know. Not looking. $10, chat. Nice. Alright, pin locations. See, it flies by so fast I can barely keep track of it.
Remind me what my tab is at the end of the run.
Okay. Will do. Alright. Pin locations. Oh my gosh. The toughest thing to do is explain everything while we're popping off so hard. 4 set pin locations. So as an example, in Lakitu, and the first 3 tournaments in the game, there will be 2 pin locations randomly determined between the 2. They will always be the same 2. So depending on which distance to the pin I have, I can predict where I want to go with my shots, because I know the pin. And lastly, the most complex aspect of luck is the bottom right corner next to the toad there. You can see it real nice. There's a 0%, and that can say some positive or negative numbers as we go. That is called shot distance variation. And shot distance variation depends on the lie of your ball. So, let's see. Just as an example, the T lie. The ball is on a T. The most you can get is plus or minus 1%. Nice. And pretty much what that means is not 1%, it's almost 1% is added or taken away from your shot. You can think of that basically it's 1% or given or taken. But what it actually is an underlying complex physics engine that exists. And it's pretty much the equating of taking, wow, I'm popping off, I can't even focus. It's it's either hitting the ball with 1% more force than you would have, or 1% less, effectively giving it 1% more momentum or 1% less. So it goes about 1%, but it's dependent on all the other environmental factors that we have to deal with. Alright, so here's my first hole skip. We do some quick club switching, and we just putt, because we can't give up on the first stroke. I'll take the plus 10 score here. It's a par 5. 5 times 3 triple par penalty is 15 strokes. 15 is 10 above par for a score of plus 10. So I'm doing the mental math at the same time with my score to route out where I'm going to skip the holes. And yeah, that's about how the structure of the run works. Beyond that is just a lot more convoluted mechanics, like how the rain actually functions. So we're wrapping up Lakitu real quick. I do want to mention that when I finish a course, we're not going to be watching the award ceremony, but rather we're just going to skip it through a soft reset. And the way we do that is actually using a memory card for the run. And that'll save about 7 seconds each time. Okay, one more ace opportunity here. Up 4 times. Wow. Got 3 of them. That's pretty good. Alright, I'm still checking the tab. Alright, second hole skipped. Reminder, we only need a score of plus 6 or better. And had I known I was gonna make that many bonus chip-ins, eagles and aces, I would have skipped another hole, which is what we do in world record speedruns. At this point, skipping 3 holes in Lakitu is basically required for a world record, because it has become that competitive.
Just
Play
for
in the
some
rough.
context,
Go ahead.
just for some context about how big is the Mario Golf speedrunning
Very well
community.
done.
It's modest. I'm looking to expand it by spreading awareness for it through marathons like Pace, while at the same time benefiting a great cause. I would say that the Toadstool Tour Discord is... It's decently active, and we have a lot... Like, I love the community. That's really why I want to grow the game. The community is fantastic. All of those aces you just saw me make, holes in one, if you will, they are definitely in part thanks to the community, because we worked tirelessly for hours developing strats for every single hole, just like that. And that's the result of our hard work. So I really appreciate that, and I think strats like that are quintessential to showing this run at a marathon. So I'm really happy I got them. And I think that's a good reflection of the size of the community. It's, you know, it's not extremely active, I wish it was, but it's active enough to where we band together and create wonderful, beautiful things like those chip-ins. Hopefully that was an adequate answer.
No, you know me. I'm just here to read donations and set you up for good answers.
Gotcha.
Nice bird.
Okay,
Very well done.
so this is the second course, Cheap Cheap Falls. Sorry, I forget, I have to translate for you, because the name of the course is really... I mean, look how beautiful the courses are, the names are also really good.
Excellent.
You have to appreciate them as a whole. Cheap Cheap Falls has a cutoff of +4,
Very well done.
so we're moving up a bit. Still not very difficult, but I do want to aim for skipping 2 par 5s like I did in Lakitu, at the very least. But in order to do that, I have to get a birdie on every single hole that I do play, that I don't skip. That makes this course quite a bit of a wall in world record attempts, because I'm trying to play as fast as I can, but I still have to be consistent, and things can fall apart very quickly. Now, it's not bad, I can skip a shorter hole if I mess up,
Birdie putt.
but the
Nice bird.
time loss kind of compounds. You miss the shot that would have guaranteed you the skip, so you lose time from that, and then you also lose time from skipping a shorter hole.
Nice shot.
So time loss can be rough in this game, but at a beginner level you shouldn't, even beginner to intermediate, you shouldn't have to worry about that too much.
Nice shot.
So I'm wondering if this is the perfect 5 AM chill game for all of you. Oh my gosh. Physics, right?
Nice.
So already, I can't skip the optimal holes. It's fine though. We're on great pace. With that Lakitu, I'm popping off.
Nice shot.
Never seen this game? Well, you know, even for those of us who have extreme nostalgia related to this game, and those of us who don't, it's a similarly engaging and weird experience to see a speedrun of golf.
On. Birdie putt. Nice bird. Very well done.
So if I'm ready to blow your guys' brains with some physics, I know it's summer break, you don't want to hear this stuff, but the physics in this game are rather interesting compared to what you may be learning in class.
On. Birdie putt.
Let's start with rain. Rain has 3 things about it. You may have seen me play around with it a bit, but the micro adjustments are not easily picked up by someone who isn't familiar with the speedrun.
Nice shot.
So the easiest one to understand is that rain makes the green a coarser surface. Because the green is wet, it just has more friction when the ball rolls on it. So in effect, we need to account for that by increasing the power of putting. And it's generally about 33 to 50% additional power needed, depending on the link.
Nice bird. Very well done.
The second thing it does is you can visualize this in your head, that when the ball's flying through the air after you've struck it with a club,
Nice shot.
the raindrops are hitting it, and while they may be minuscule in size compared to the ball, they still have some force on the ball acting on it. So one of the 2 things that does is that it lowers the shot height overall by a slight margin, but it's considerable, especially when you're trying to get over some obstacles. The second thing it does is for characters with a curve to their shot, Waluigi has a rightward curve to his shot, which is called a draw, whereas some other characters have a leftward curve, which is called a fade. What the rain does is it allows the shot to curve outward, but because the curve back into the normal line takes so long, it actually prevents it from curving all the way back in, so I have to adjust slightly for that. An example would be with Waluigi. I'll go a little bit more to the right than or more to the left rather, than I would have if there were no rain. So that's what rain does. I know, right? Crazy. You never thought about this when you were playing this game with your parents. But it is that deep of a game. Oh, I overhit. Impressive. Oh yeah, and I might as well explain the character. I did say at the start that I'd be using Waluigi for a good portion of the run. Why Waluigi? Well, from a blank slate save file, we don't have any of the star characters or the additional characters unlocked, just from the get-go. So we have to deal with non-star characters for a while, but that'll change coming up, I'll show. Waluigi happens to have the nicest blend of stats out of all of the characters, hitting a decent distance while also maintaining a really respectable amount of control and spin stat. So, but that's not all. He also has the fastest animations in the entire game. He putts almost a second faster than some of the other characters. And as you can imagine, 18 holes on every course that we play, across 6 courses, that's gonna add up. And it does add up to quite a bit. So Waluigi is truly the pinnacle of speedrunning in this game. And it's quite epic.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Go for it.
We have I can't
March.
French. March with 20 bucks saying, good luck, Blue, popping off so far.
Thank you, March. I appreciate it. Let's go. March getting that tab in early.
I took Spanish, not French, so I can't pronounce things.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm playing a little risky right now, actually. I do need +4, remember? So I have to birdie the remaining 2 holes, or else I have to restart them, because I'm not going to win the tournament if I don't. And getting rain on this hole is one of the most cursed things that could have happened to me. If I do end up resetting, there is a save and quit function that saves the hole you're on currently. You just save and quit, and then you restart from the hole with different RNG parameters. So at most it'll cost me about 40 to 50 seconds, which is quite a blow, but it means the run is not dead. And one more. This last one's not easy though. I can opt to give more control to my shot by clubbing down 2 and using a power shot, which you use by pressing B. And that'll give me a softer shot that lands and gives me more control with the backspin. Alright, out of the second course. Nice. Didn't make a mistake there. So we just unlocked Shifting Sands. Cutoff going up to +3, and winds start going up to, I believe, 3 meters per second, which is 7 miles per hour for those of you in the US. So on the first hole, I am trying to get a best drive, which is this animation you'll see pop up in just a bit. Trying to get a best drive that's long enough to where every other tee shot I play doesn't cause it to pop up again. And some of the holes do have longer tee shots, so it only loses a second and a half, but it's, you know, if we can avoid it, we might as well. So there is all sorts of micro routing happening on every individual hole as I go. In a world record attempt, I would usually skip this hole. It's possible to skip 2 par 5s still on this course if I birdie every hole and I also eagle one of the holes, which is, you know, imagine keeping your temper during that. The nerves start to rise because you're on pace. But for the sake of the marathon, we will be playing a slightly safer route. This literally only saves like 1 to 2 seconds over the other skips. So it's really not that big of a deal. But I'm just showing you that 1 to 2 seconds makes a difference in this run. I've made sure that that is a thing. In this course I have to hit around this rock structure. And the leading fairway to the green can be really finicky, so I want to make sure that I don't do this. But certain camera angles, like that one, tell me that I have either made a shot or messed up horribly. And in that case, it's almost a guarantee that I made it, so that's good to know. One of those comforting moments that once you learn all of the camera angles, you can have your mind put at ease.
Nice shot. Chip in. Nice bird. Very well done.
Risky chips. As this run progresses past the first initial courses, it transitions a lot from, you know, set routing. I know really what I want to do on every hole as it comes up, and more so to improv. I'm sure you guys are familiar with improv if you are watching the SM64 stuff going on, or even the Super Mario Maker 2 stuff now. Both of that's coming up tomorrow. More content there. But improv is heavily used in this run. I have to utilize every aspect of a shot that I can in the 2 seconds that I have to make it while the bar is moving, in order to control it and react to every given environmental condition that I have. It's really a lot to process, I know. It sounds like I'm speaking absolute jargon right now, and I am. But that's what makes this run so great. What kind of run just has physical jargon to the degree of this run? So this is the eagle I make in the route normally. We got it. I opt to just hit straight into the bunker because this pin location has a relatively consistent chip in. So that gives me a good eagle opportunity while also being fast. Rain on this hole is also cursed because we're in the desert. Now we may be satisfying some recent droughts, but at the same time it's making golfing a lot more difficult. So that's interesting. Of course I would get rain on the desert in this run. What a classic thing to happen. Should have done full top here. Alright, we're chipping. You like to see it? So I can explain some of the things that I'm doing with my shot, just every time I make a shot. One of the key things that you'll need to learn if you are going to speedrun this game is to look at the bottom right corner here and see that I'm hitting the upper part of the ball. What that's called in real golf is topspin, but there are 2 different types of spin in this game because we can add our own artificial spin to the shot. But just looking at the impact point, which is what the ball model in the bottom right is showing, I'm adding topspin, because what that does is it reduces airtime of my shot by a significant amount, while also making it more difficult to control. So I have to give up control and arc my shots much more precisely in order to save all that time. Ooh. Okay. One difficult fringe putt. So I'm constantly using the impact point. That's one thing. Another option I have is to change the amount of power that I have on my shot. So I can opt to hit less power if I have a bunch of tailwind aiding my shot and flying toward the green. Holy moly.
Very well done.
Okay, that makes up for that thing I just missed. That's nice. Convenient. Not scripted, I promise.
All is planned.
All is planned. Indeed.
Nice on. Birdie putt.
The world record in this game for 80% is 50-53. I have that time.
And I think there's some other really cool categories, right? I know you run a lot of all badges. I'm sorry if I'm skipping forward in your script.
Nope, nope, not at all. Perfect timing, even. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Rain is cursed, I swear. Yes, this game has... I know it's like... Okay, this is kind of straightforward, you know, we get to see most of the golf game just in this category alone, but there are so many categories that you can find on speedrun.com, and they are all super fun. Some of them are really difficult.
Nice shot.
Like, I wasn't even using...
Very well done.
I wasn't even using any percent to practice any percent. I was just doing a different category that was a lot harder. Just to practice for this run. It's quite convenient, but all the same, all of those different categories are super unique, and they provide very different gameplay aspects.
Nice shot.
So it's really cool. We have plenty of ILs as well, so you can do speed golf, you can do coin attack, all these things we have on the leaderboard. So if ILs interest you more than main category runs, feel free to peruse those.
Nice shot.
And ILs bring up a great point of run compatibility. You know, what kind of accessibility could you expect getting into the speedrun? Well, funny enough, we actually allow runs on emulator, which is uncommon in the speedrunning community. It's because it's actually slower than running on console. It's gonna lose you about 20 to 30 seconds depending on your PC, how good it is.
Nice on. Birdie
But generally, it is slightly slower than console. So emulator is a great way for runners to get into this game. And,
new course unlocked.
yeah, you really like to see that. I personally ran on emulator for a long time. Now I run on console, I just think it's better, and also my world records are more optimized.
You're a purist.
Yeah, right. Well,
Real quick, guys, before we get into the next course, just want to remind you why we're all here. This is PACE 2020, supporting COVID-19 relief. If you are able, please donate to the Hackensack Meridian Health COVID Response Fund. Bluekandy and I are matching donations for holes in one, so please, if you can, donate. Just $3 pays for an N95 mask for a healthcare worker on the front lines. Please donate if you can.
we are currently... Thank you. We are currently at 3 holes in one, I just want to add. So that's $5 per hole in one is what we set up. That's 15 bucks if you want to match. You can go back in the VOD to verify that that's true. I promise you, I sank 3 aces in this run already. It's crazy.
On the same course, no less.
On the same course. Well, that's a little more expected, but... Ooh, Waluigi, nice. But, we can expect... There are actually strats on the other courses. They're just much less consistent, because if I have any sort of wind, they're not going to work. So I have to rely on RNG. Oh.
Excellent. Birdie putt. Nice birdie.
Alright, yeah, we're on the 4th course now, Blooper Bay. This one sports a rapid increase in difficulty compared to the first 3 courses, in that now we have 3 pin locations per hole to deal with. But also we have this blue stuff that's right in front of me on the fairway, and that's Fast Fairway, I know. Creative name. If we land on that, the ball typically goes flying, but what it does is it acts as a more slick surface,
Very well done.
so any sort of bounce on it is going to carry a lot more momentum than it otherwise would on regular fairway. So I'm going to both be avoiding that and potentially using it to my advantage as we go through the next 3 courses. And also just all of the hole layouts are increasingly difficult. Like how far uphill we have to go here. Some things that casual players underestimate is height differences. They really increase the difficulty of the shots that you have to make because they work in tandem with wind, rain. Like I mentioned, rain reduces height of your shot. There's a lot to consider when taking every single shot.
Nice bird. Very well done.
Alright. Back 9 of Blooper is definitely harder than the front 9, but so I will need to focus a little more for that when I get there. But one last thing to mention about the routing, I know, it's crazy how much there is. But once I get to the 50th birdie badge, which I don't know if I got yet or not, did I already spoil it? Or is it this?
I think this will be 50.
Nice. Perfect timing. We unlock Boo, also known as Teresa in the Japanese version. Nice. Boo is an unlockable character at 50 best badges, which means birdie or better on 50 holes. And what's special about that is unlockable characters automatically come with their star form. And star forms are like the glass cannon version of characters. Oh man, really? Brutal pin. Glass cannon meaning I gain a lot more distance, but I lose a lot of control. And I'll actually be using Boo for the last two courses in this run. That'll allow me to get birdies easier and also potentially eagle the par 5s. So I have an easier time meeting the cutoff and skipping some of the longer holes now, compared to using weak Waluigi.
Oh, don't burn Waluigi like that.
I mean, he tried his best.
Speaking of characters, one of my favorite things about this game is that the leaderboard has a bunch of characters that are actual Mario characters but aren't in the game. Such a tease.
Right, such as Casey at That, my personal favorite. Now we can't observe that because unless you can read Japanese. Oh boy. I guess I'm skipping this hole. Actually, I shouldn't, so we're just gonna play the stroke here. Yeah, so funky things happen in the speedrun. We have a meme in the community where if you accidentally double tap a shot like that, we say you need to trim your nails because long nails are a really easy way to double tap the A button depending on how you hold the controller. So apparently I need to trim my nails even though I literally just did that. Nice.
Still part of it anyway, what a boss.
Yep. Oh, I didn't get the par. It bounced off the pin. Rip.
Dang.
You spoke too soon. How could you?
It's my fault.
Nice on. Birdie putt.
And as somebody who watches and plays golf fairly religiously, watching all of these drivers on the tee on like par 3s kind of hurts my soul.
Yeah, you don't expect drivers on the tees on par 3s, or from the fairway in general. Maybe we should talk about that too. Drivers on fairway. Whenever that happens, I'm typically doing what's called a punch shot, and that means that I club up to a club that's going to move the ball much quicker in the air, but I play a reduced power, so maybe like a 3/4 power driver, and those save seconds at a time, so they're really important, but exceptionally difficult to control. The only reason I can really do them with some consistency is because I've played 10,000 shots of the same manner. You really get to know this game when you've played every angle, every angle you could possibly think of. And that's part of where the world record grind comes from. I've played this game since 2003 when it came out, and I still love it to pieces. Speedrunning it for about 3 years has gotten me this far, missing putts like that one.
Quote-unquote speedrun.
Right. Golf speedrun.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
I've never been called the nerd from Polar Express. That's actually interesting. I wish I could tell you about trains, but unfortunately I'm not knowledgeable. I think
Golf, on the other hand.
Yeah, I think there may be someone in the Toadstool Tour community who is knowledgeable on trains, though. So, consider joining the Toadstool Tour community. Shoutouts to them.
Very well done.
And we actually have a quick donation from Joey Gordon, who has matched our $15, saying, "Insane holes in one blue, you are my hero. Thank you for running my favorite game for a good cause. Go for the Dawn strats with love from Germany." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joey Gordon from Germany. Much appreciated. Oh, that's epic, dude. Shoutouts to Joey Gordon.
Nice.
Perfect.
Birdie,
Wow, what an insane guest appearance. I like that a lot.
birdie. Very well done.
Is extensive knowledge about trains common amongst runners? I think it should be. Maybe I'll study up.
Nice shot.
This has been inspirational to me, at least.
Nice shot.
This 4-meter headwind. This is... I have no idea what's going on here. You might as well just hit blind. Speaking of which, I plan to do some blindfolded playthroughs of this game. Test my knowledge of how well I actually know the courses. And I put those as channel point rewards because I think channel points are highly slept on Twitch. Get to making those crazy channel point rewards, I want to see them.
Nice bird.
Alright, we're perfectly fine here. This is a pretty slow blooper, all things considered, but my goal time for a marathon run is basically sub 55. If I manage to get a sub 53:41, I believe, then I will. If my world record run didn't exist, then that run itself would be world record. It's so hard to talk. So we're gonna go for the theoretical world record time. That's what I like to do with these marathon runs. And invite anyone who thinks that they can beat me to try your hardest. I really want people to take my records in this game. That's something I have been seeking for multiple years now. It's... Besides the community, like, I grow the community, and in turn the community finds a way to take these records from me. I really love competitive speedrunning at the top level, and I think in Mario Golf it would be unmatched. Unprecedented in history, even. So yeah, if you want to beat my records, I have Backseat Gaming Allowed on my streams. It's a great time in which I encourage chat to try to be better than me. I think that is a healthy mindset for competitive speedrunning. So let's talk about the course. The fifth course, now that we're out of blooper, my least favorite course by the way, is Peach's Castle Grounds.
Very well done.
Cut off of +1, and winds going up to 5 meters per second, or roughly 11 miles per hour. I might be OB here. Yeah, I am. The mushroom, dude! Yeah, don't wake the chain chomps up.
Nice shot.
They're peacefully sleeping, why would you wake them up? I'm actually a terrible person for doing that. Shame on me. But yeah, the chomps, if you go in there, that counts as OB. It's pretty detrimental.
That wasn't you, it was the mushroom's fault.
Yeah, it was the mushroom's fault, you're right. If that wasn't there, peaceful sleeping.
Bogey.
But yes, we have Boo on board now. Boo is a much slower putter. So yes, effectively I'm losing time to Waluigi,
Nice shot.
just because I'm putting slowly. Boo just has to take her time.
Nice. Oh.
Wants to make sure that the putt actually goes in the hole. Because, I mean, look at...
Very
Boo
well
is playing one-handed. Can you do that? Gotta take some time. It's impressive.
done. Nice shot.
But that time save, or that time loss rather, is actually made up because of all these extra eagles that I'm hopefully going to get.
And also putting on something more reminiscent of a skee ball ramp. Right, for some of these holes.
So I'm gonna do the Dawn strat here, which is to play the fast fairway and bounce all the way onto the green. Glad I got that. Really like to show off that big bounce theory
Chip in. Nice eagle. Very
whenever I get the opportunity to. And sink the eagle. Nice. as we can see, Teresa is already paying off.
Nice shot.
If you may remember from your childhood playing this game, this course is where things really tend to pick up for the casual players.
Pin shot.
Nice pin shot, by the way.
Nice on. Birdie.
Yeah, I noticed a couple people mentioned this course gave them difficulties in casual playthroughs.
Very well done.
Yeah, one of the most notorious is hole 8, which is the giant... It's actually shaped like a cake, but it's the one where you go so far uphill, you know the one. You'll know it when you see it, it's that recognizable. I'll show you a quick shortcut for that hole.
Nice shot. Chip in. Nice birdie.
So, be ready to amaze your friends and family by eagling one of the hardest holes in the game. With a character that's really disadvantaged for the skip, actually. In the past, you can actually have lefty characters in this game, that's an option as well. Press L at the character select screen. So in the past, we've actually played around with the idea of using lefty boo on some of the courses.
Excellent.
But I find that it throws off my visual cues for the shots just a little too much, and I'd have to reroute half the shots that I make anyways. So we're just gonna do it like this. Switch down to the 4-iron, look at the wind, make sure you're not gonna get blown off the course, and you just hit a low or a high fade. Come around to this side, and then we have a direct shot to the green.
Nice shot.
Pretty convenient. And if you're lucky, you can even chip in an albatross, the rarest of them all. The rarest bird of them all.
Very well done.
So yeah, hole 8 conquered. Pretty easily.
Nice shot.
And as we get off the front 9 of this course, the back 9 is way more difficult this time. So, I'm gonna take some time to make sure I do alright on it. Hole 10 is one of the hardest ones. I think hole 10 is the hardest hole in this course, just because of how I play it. It is the fastest way, you know me. I'm the speedy gamer, and I must do it as fast as possible. So we're gonna set this up. Micromanage the impact point to make sure I clear the bunker. They hit right in this small area between the bunker and the fast fairway. If I hit the fast fairway, I go out of bounds. If I hit the bunker, I par the hole. So, we're playing with fire right now.
Nice.
Literally
on.
burning the green.
Birdie putt. Nice birdie. Very well
Okay,
done.
that hole went well.
To borrow a phrase, he's on fire!
I'm familiar with being on fire.
Nice shot.
Flames, as they say.
Nice on. Birdie putt.
Okay.
Nice birdie. Very well done.
This is good. I guess I forgot to explain one of the other
Nice shot.
aspects of the game that are introduced in this course. They're actually specific to this course, are the warp pipes. You've probably seen a few already, but what they do is they link to their matching pair. So green goes to green, and if you go into them with your shot, they will teleport you. So I can use that. I typically don't in this run, but it is an option I have if I choose to.
Very well done.
This camera angle tells me I landed on the green, so this hole is really far downhill, but because of the camera angle, I already know where I am, kind of, in the general area.
Nice birdie. Very well done.
Oh, if you don't know what nice shots are, essentially you have to play within one frame of the power that you set. You can change it with L or R. And also one frame of the sweet spot. If you do that, then you will get a nice shot. And what nice shots do is they function to conserve your power shots. You have a limited supply of those on every course. If you hit a nice shot with a power shot, you don't lose the power shot. You only have 6, so you have to be pretty careful with them.
Nice shot.
This hole is frame perfect. If I had 1 frame early miss hit, I would hit that red mushroom there and go into the water. If I was 1 frame late, I don't really know what would happen, but I assure you it's not good. So, gotta hit frame perfectly.
Chip in. Nice birdie. Very well done.
With my current score, I could actually opt to skip this hole and the last one, which is the last par 5. But that means I would have to birdie the 17th hole, which is a really crazy par 3 that I dislike. And 2 out of 3 times, it's going to give me a relatively tough pin location. 1 out of 3 times, it's going to give me one that I probably won't birdie. So we're not going to take 33% chance this time.
Nice birdie.
And we're gonna go with the safe skips. Ever get a hole-in-one? We've gotten 3 in this run so far. And we're donating $5, me and chat, and Cola here, for each hole-in-one, so we're at $15 currently. Those of you who are participating, thank you very much, by the way.
And I was just about to remind people as we go into the last course, it's going to be brutal. Make sure you stick around for it. But as you guys know, we're all here for charity, so donations much appreciated to the Hack and Sack Meridian Health COVID Response Fund. We're getting to be where the NA people are waking up, so EU people, if you're hanging out in chat, let's show those Americans what's up.
Let's see it. Thank you, Cole. Alright, starting off this with a bang. Bowser Badlands, we need even. Plus or minus 0. We already have that score, that's pretty good. And we're just gonna do an 8-iron to skip most of the back and forth function of this first hole. And sometimes we can sink that eagle chip in, but it's a tough one.
Very well done.
This course is notoriously difficult, but I actually like it more than Blooper Bay personally. Just because I find it more fun to play and optimize. But yeah, this is that other course that haunts our childhoods. So hopefully this is cathartic for some people, to see it absolutely beasted.
Nice on. Birdie putt. Nice bird.
Alright, hole 3, we're gonna play a risky strat to this island fairway. Bounce off the brick wall and hopefully be in a good spot. Looks good. Now, which pin location did I get? I got the worst one, of course.
Nice shot.
So, I did not properly play the tailwind here, which is lowering my shot. So I did not make it onto the green because of that. But we sank the chip. Nice. On a sloped green, nonetheless. You like to see that. On this hole, if you hit through the boos, they will significantly reduce your carry, which is the distance the ball travels before it lands for the first time. So you don't want to hit the boo, even though we're playing as boo. Boos are still mean to us. I know, right? Not very friendly. This is my second least favorite hole in the game, and there is a good reason for that. It is just awful. That's all I have to tell you. But we did get the best pin location if I don't go out of bounds here. Looks good. Very nice. Hole 5 Badlands down. Not sweating as much now.
Very well done. Nice shot.
We get hit by the thwomps, that's gonna change our lie into the worst one possible.
You know, aren't there just giant floating stone heads on your local golf course?
Yep.
And giant cliffs of lava?
Nah, we're just relaxing now. It's such a peaceful course to play golf on.
Nice ball.
The wind sound threw me off. Sometimes the wind sounds like more than it actually is. So you try to overplay it without actually looking at it, and it serves as a good reminder to look at the wind. Otherwise, your shot's gonna go completely haywire. Even I need that. From time to time, I need that reminder.
Nice shot.
Okay, this hole has another shortcut that's relatively difficult. You can just barely hit high enough to make it to this platform here, which is usually used for ring attack. And then hit straight down to the green.
Nice shot. Great. Eagle putt.
If I was confident enough, I would have top spun off the rough to get closer to the pin.
Well done.
That's one of those risky strats you could do. But you have to know in advance exactly where you're gonna land
Nice
based
shot.
on the shot you make. So if you can do that, then I salute you.
Nice shot.
Almost got taken out by the game, did I? Oh, we're playing.
Nice shot.
Oops. I had to react to -3% on my shot there, which almost made it so that I didn't make it to the green. That would have been tragic. But luckily, I just barely made it. And I wasn't ready for the chip after that because of how stressful that was. So here we have to hit under the thwomp here.
To be fair,
And
chipping into a giant Bowser mouth is pretty intimidating.
indeed. Yeah, the aesthetics of this course are a little questionable, but it's Bowser. What can you expect?
Nice bird. Very well done.
Ooh. No, I fell off the dude. 2-frame slice isn't gonna do anyone any good. But because I landed up there, even though I get a water hazard here, I should actually be put back up there. Just get a quick chip in. Just save par.
Nice shot. Chip in. Nice ball.
Respect. I'd give that a thumbs up.
Casual par.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a casual run. Distance control is of utmost importance here, but so is not going in the rough. There's a little bit of a slope there that is so hard to hit over.
Nice ball.
Yeah, I mean, if you can average pars on the back nine of Badlands, you are already doing very good. Like, enough to get into the top 10 level of speedrunning this game good. So now you know you have a benchmark to set yourself for.
Nice shot. Excellent. Birdie putt.
As long as I have 10 under par on my score, we are fine to skip the longest hole in the game, which is hole 16. If that happens, then that is good Badlands. Good enough for me.
Nice shot.
You can still skip 2 holes in this course, though, all things considered. So, crazy speedruns can happen.
Nice shot. Nice on. Birdie putt. Nice bird. Very well done.
Alright, these last few holes I'm gonna
Nice shot.
put on focus mode for so we finish strong. Be sure to get your donations in.
Nice shot.
Rough bounce. No.
Nice on. Birdie putt. Nice bird. Very well done.
Actually, We're gonna go for the Dawn play here.
Nice shot.
I need minus 14 to skip the last 2 holes. So if I birdie this hole, it's 1 less hole we actually have to play overall.
Nice shot.
Just gotta get this shot over here and hopefully have a shot over the Womp. Okay, we'll make him fall. That's fine. He served his purpose. What a man. You could also just chip in the eagle.
Nice.
Perfect way to end the run. Let's go. Yeah, and that's it. We're set.
Happy plan.
We can
And of
just...
course, the very suspenseful conclusion of putting and giving up on the last 2 holes.
Right. Yeah, nice speedrun, right? We kind of just don't care what happens from here on out. We're gonna beat Mario nonetheless, so that's a GG in chat. And here's our time right here.
Very well done.
53:06.
You said what, 53:08?
I said 53:41.
Oh, jeez. You can tell I'm tired. And we had enough time to try to ace 18 for the fans.
Right? Oh yeah, I could have done that. Oh man, what am I doing? Throwing the content away.
Taking,
Dude, I swear
taking
these
money
splits...
out of the mouths of charity.
Wait.
Yeah, I think the last runner was having some
Still world
problems
record.
splitting. Hey!
Okay, I understand now. I know what happened. I was so confident that I would actually get these splits right after seeing everyone fail them, and then I failed it myself. It's all good
Always
though.
gotta give that hubris, you know?
Yeah, 53:06 was the final time. And then, of course, as is with sports games, we have the amazing intro scene, which I don't have enough time to show off, but we do have the credits, so we will enjoy the credits right now. Because the GameCube era Mario sports games are really known for their cinematics. So it's really nice to just enjoy this after a stressful run. Especially like a marathon run. Thank you for the GGs. This isn't actually a world record, I'm sorry. But it is the theoretical world record if my run did not exist on the leaderboard.
So what he's saying is he's flexing on second place. That he
Oh.
beat second place in a marathon.
Second place might be in chat. Rest in peace. No, it's okay. He's used to it. He understands.
Wow. He's that used to it? It's a little rough.
Shoutouts to you, Spy. Alright, so see the estimate on the screen, right? Below me. No, to the side of me. Yeah. It's a 105, which means I have a little bit of time after these credits to show you guys the best way to get a hole-in-one. I just saw your message, Cole. I'm sorry I missed that, but seems like it worked out.
Yeah, it's fine.
I will show you guys how to get a hole-in-one. You can play along right now if you want. Boot up Dolphin or your GameCube, and you can do this right in the comfort of your own household. Learn it here from me and impress your parents. So I will do that. It'll take about 2 minutes, so hopefully that's okay. Think that's good, Cola? I can cut the credits short if I need to.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we should still have some time. I think we're pretty ahead.
Yeah. Booting up right now. You're welcome, Lumbus. No, Coconut. Just take notes, alright? Get your notepads out.
If you enjoyed the stream, no better way to help us out than with a donation to the Hackensack Marine Health COVID Response Fund. I know I've been chilling quite a bit, but we definitely appreciate anything that you can contribute.
Alright, so you unlock the star tourneys for beating the game. However, I will show you guys. You have to go back to the regular tourneys after you do that, but this is what I do during an any % run. I'm gonna give you an in-depth explanation of what's going on. If you missed the start of the run, this is kind of what it looked like. I'm gonna get to hole 3. because that's the first par 3 and actually the easiest one to show off some strats. So make sure you have your notepad out. I promise you're going to want to take notes. It's a lot to remember at once.
Nice shot.
So essentially what I'll be doing is, depending on the hole location that I get, I can tell based on what the distance marker says. So for hole 3 it'll be 139 or 144. I know which strat I need to hit, so which club I need to use, and etc. You'll see.
Nice bird.
So what a strat is, essentially, is no hands on the control stick. Don't move the camera at all. Alright, so we got 144 center flag. I'm going to switch to a specific club of power that I know I have a strat with. Then I can find a specific frame of power on that club. I can change the impact point in the bottom right, and also apply my own spin while hitting double frame perfect. If all of those things go right, then I will get a hole-in-one. So let's see. Not quite. So this will take me a few tries, but I should be able to get it relatively quickly. And I can just save and quit.
Nice on.
So if you get all that, club, frame power, impact point, double frame perfect, custom spin.
Easy peasy.
Alright, so here's a good example of how this can still not work. I did everything right that I just said, but there's a minus 1%.
Birdie putt.
Bottom right corner. So even if you do everything perfectly, you still have to get lucky enough to get 0, which is about 2/3. Nice, I even got the rain strat, dude. Popping off. So yeah,
Wow. Holy
just do everything right. If you know the strat, we have multiple resources that have lists of strats for you to study and try out on your own. You have to do them in tournament mode, but that's how that works.
And by the way, that counts towards the $5, right?
Yeah, I'd say it does. So 20 bucks.
We actually just got one more donation from SpyFox28, who's been hanging out with us in chat, dropping a $50 donation saying, "Great golfing, Blue. Glad I could be here to support you in a great cause. Thank you for giving golf a chance." Thank you very much, SpyFox.
Thank you, SpyFox26. We appreciate it. Second place runner. Huge props. Here's a replay if you missed it. Instant replay. He's insane. And with that, I thank you guys for watching this run. I really appreciate it. Again,
This counts towards the $5 too, right?
no, it does not. Oh my gosh, he's trying to scam me. If you really enjoyed the speedrun, huge shout out to the Toadstool Tour community. You can find every resource imaginable through the speedrun.com page for MGTT. Our Discord is there. Everything you could imagine for speedrunning this game is there, and we will help you. There are some big things in the works for this game at the moment, so I encourage you to take a look. It's going to be bustling and vibrant, I certainly hope. This is only the beginning. So thank you so much for watching. Get those donations in, and stay tuned for Lim's run next after mine. Lim is a good friend of mine. They are going to blow you away. So thank you so much, Cola. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes. Have a good one.